So Caroline, when did you start producing straw logs?
We started producing straw logs in November 2009 after sort of a 6-month period of getting the machinery over from Denmark and setting it all up, harvesting the straw in the right condition and putting it in the shed.
So what gave you the idea?
Well, obviously everything you produce on a farm has got an energy value, and you harvest the grain for food, for bread, but you could also burn the grain and create electricity or heat with it. And we started looking at that as an idea and then thought, well, we are farmers, food production is the first and most important thing we do. And during the research, we discovered that you can actually get as much energy from straw as you can from kiln-dried wood. Although you can't digest it, you can burn it and gain that energy. So we started to look at how we could make straw into a form which was marketable. And this was actually 2 years ago. And we hired a briquetting machine and made briquettes. And they weren't very good briquettes, but still the interest was really, really positive for the briquettes and the whole idea behind it. And then we started looking more into different briquetting machines and discovered this kit in Denmark, which seemed to really do the job. And as it is, there's a company in Southern Ireland who makes straw logs with exactly the same machinery that we do. They're called Strogs, and they've got off really well. We went and saw them and spoke to them, and we actually bought a ton of their logs, blank, unbranded, and we branded them up ourselves, and then we put them out around some of the summer Sweet Corn Festival, Wolverton Garden Fair, etc., just to get some feedback, and it was really positive. So we proceeded with a grant application, tried to get some funding to go forward. We didn't manage with the grant application; it was seen as too innovative. But we so much believed in the project that we just invested ourselves and moved forward with the idea.
So how are they actually made?
The straw, which is about this long initially, gets chopped into 30mm lengths. It all gets drawn in together and then pushed through a compressor. It's a hammer mill, so it bang, bang, bangs up the straw, and it creates so much heat, the lignin in the cell walls actually melts. And as that cools under pressure in a very long tube, it sets the straw log. So there actually is nothing in the straw except for straw. And it has to be dry. If you have the product too wet, more than 10% moisture, because also when something gets hot, water will expand when it boils, the straw log won't hold together. So the straw has to be dry, which gives us a very, very consistent product. Always 10% moisture, it's always the same energy value, which is different from wood, which can be wet wood, dry wood, hardwood, softwood. We always offer a consistent product because the machinery makes us have to do that. To dry straw would cost a lot of money and use a lot of energy. The trick is basically harvesting the straw in the right conditions. So if you have a dry sunny day, the straw will be the right dry matter. Don't bale it first thing in the morning or last thing at night when the dew comes down. Bale it in the sunny part of the day. And last year was obviously a wet summer. We got plenty of dry straw. We certainly have enough straw on the farm for the initial number of years for our business. I think going forward, when the machine's got a capacity of 5,000 tonnes, we don't produce that much straw. We will be able to source in straw from other farmers, obviously giving us a great opportunity to have a cooperative with other farmers on the island. There's more and more arable land being cultivated, there's less and less animals being here. And whereas all the wheat and barley and everything else goes off the island via the Isle of Wight Grain Group, the straw, you have to market it yourself or manage it yourself. The straw logs burn really well. Each log weighs 1 kilogram. There's actually a bin bag full of straw squashed into what is a wine bottle sized log, really. So there's a lot of straw in there. It burns very well, burns for 40 minutes to an hour per log, giving off 4.5 kilowatts of energy per log, which is the same as kiln dried wood. They burn for a long time, and even when it looks like they've died down and are really just sort of doing nothing, there's still an incredible amount of heat coming off the logs. Now I'm sort of targeting the yurt and summer camp market. With the straw logs, you're getting value for money because you're getting value per money per calorie of fuel you're buying. You can buy a ton of wood and it could be 60% moisture. When you buy a ton of straw logs, you're getting only 10% moisture and you're getting all the calories. And the cheapest way to buy them from us is to come and buy them direct in bulk from the farm, but we also will deliver, and we believe it's a very competitive product.
You started this last year. How well did it go during the winter?
Gone really well. I marketed really hard to farm shops UK-wide, so I got into about 20 different outlets on the mainland. We were a little bit late to start to get into chains of places because they actually decide now what they're going to have for next year. But it looks like Wyvale garden centres on the mainland are going to have them in their southernmost stores. We're putting them into Tesco's local stores to do a feasibility study, which may lead on to Dobies, because Tesco own Dobies. So that's a huge outlet. But I've got 2 trade shows coming up, which is really going to give us a chance to show what we've got to the main buyers from these places. And on the island, people have really supported us in lots of delicatessens, farm shops, garden centres. People have bought them and tried them and liked them, and we've had quite a lot of bulk orders from domestic users. UK-wide, we've had bulk orders from domestic users. It's been really positive. The most difficult part of setting up the business, after we got the funding, which was supported by Lloyds, after we got the machinery, which was really well put in by the company in Denmark, has been really trying to put a brand new product onto a market. People think straw is some fluffy, something that will burn really quickly, and trying to convince people, because it is a very good product. It stores very well, it's very compact, you get a lot of logs under your coffee table, for example, and actually to try and get people to take the chance and stock it in their shops. But that has worked this year, and I believe it's going to really keep rolling on for next winter coming. The carbon neutrality of the product is a very, very positive thing. We're growing a crop with an annual carbon cycle. So every year we're growing something which is sustainable, we're producing food, and we're producing a fuel off the same piece of land. It's very sustainable, it's grown under good agricultural practice, and I think that's a really positive thing. No trees are being chopped down, there's nothing being imported from Latvia or Lithuania to make this fuel. It's a local grown fuel. It's very important for the Isle of Wight to have green industries, and it's very important for the Isle of Wight to join up all the industries. Now we're here, we've got our product, which obviously you're seeing it as a domestic product to sell to the householder. It could also be marketed as an industrial puck to a combined heat and power plant or a biomass boiler. It's very important that the Isle of Wight tries to join up its thinking, and that we all have a chance to help each other to make us all go green. We've got a product here, we could provide 5,000 tonnes a year of a commercial product or a domestic product. We can do it for any market.